Scene script. Imagine this. You've saved up your entire life only to realize that the value of your savings has significantly diminished. That's the reality of the US dollar today. From the time of its inception, the US dollar has been on a roller coaster ride. Let's take a step back to the year 1933. Since then, the greenback has lost a staggering 92% of its domestic purchasing power. Yes, you heard it right, 92%. Fast forward to 1994, inflation was at a moderate rate of 2.7%. However, even this moderate rate was enough to cut the dollar's purchasing power in half by the year 2022. Reflect on that for a moment. Now let's take a look at the dollar's standing on the global stage. According to data from the International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, the share of the US dollar in central bank foreign exchange reserves has seen a significant reduction. It has gone down from 72% in the year 2000 to 59% in 2023. This decline has been so profound that it has prompted a report from JP Morgan's Global Research to state, the risk of de-dollarization, which is a periodically recurrent theme throughout post-war history, has returned into focus due to geopolitical and geostrategic shifts. The global reliance on the US dollar is indeed diminishing, and central banks worldwide have begun to offload their dollar reserves. Matthew Piepenburg, partner of Matterhorn Asset Management, has emphasized that despite occasional spikes in its relative strength, the dollar's intrinsic purchasing power has been consistently on the decline. This trend, when measured against gold, shows a persistent downfall. The dollar's intrinsic purchasing power has been consistently on the decline, a trend that's unlikely to change. This, my friends, is the sobering reality of the US dollar today. But it's not all doom and gloom. As the dollar falls, something else rises: gold and silver. These precious metals have always held a certain allure, but their importance in the global economy is growing by the day. Matthew Piepenburg, a partner at Matterhorn Asset Management, is one of the prominent voices attesting to this rise. He emphasizes the long-term decline of the dollar's purchasing power when measured against gold. To put it simply, as the value of paper money dips, the worth of precious metals like gold and silver ascends. So, what's driving this shift? The answer lies in the intrinsic value of these metals. Unlike paper money, gold and silver cannot be printed at will. Their supply is limited, and this scarcity makes them valuable. They are tangible assets that have been used as a medium of exchange for thousands of years. In times of economic uncertainty, they act as a safe haven, a shield against the corrosive effects of inflation. And it's not just individual investors who are recognizing this. Central banks all over the world are also turning to gold, not as a mere pet rock, but as a reliable store of value. According to a report from the World Gold Council, gold purchases by global central banks reached a new high in the first 9 months of this year. This trend is a clear indication of the diminishing trust in paper money and the fiscal policies of leading economies. As reliance on the US dollar decreases, these institutions are choosing to diversify their reserves, turning to gold as a more stable and reliable asset. In the end, the rise of precious metals is not a fleeting trend but a reflection of a changing global economy. As the value of traditional currencies fluctuates, gold and silver stand firm, their worth undiminished. Gold and silver, once considered mere pet rocks, are proving to be the true store of value. They are shining examples of wealth preservation, promising a bright future for those who choose to invest in them. Why are central banks worldwide accumulating gold? It's not because they're collectors. Instead, the answer lies in the growing mistrust in paper money and the monetary and fiscal policies of leading developed economies. Over the years, the intrinsic purchasing power of the US dollar has been on a downward spiral. Despite occasional spikes in its relative strength, the long-term trend when compared with gold shows a consistent decline. This has led to a growing disillusionment with the greenback and paper money in general. The world's central banks are not oblivious to this fact, and their response? They are turning to the one store of value that has withstood the test of time: precious metals, particularly gold. The World Gold Council, the market development organization for the gold industry, has noted an interesting trend. Their reports indicate that gold purchases by global central banks reached a record for the first 9 months of this year. This isn't a mere coincidence or a fleeting trend. It's a calculated move based on the current economic climate and the future they foresee. Central banks are not just hoarding gold because it shines, but because it represents a tangible, reliable store of value. In a world where economies are increasingly volatile and currencies continually fluctuate, gold offers a semblance of stability. It's a hedge against inflation, a safety net during economic downturns, and a trusted reserve asset. But what does this mean for the US dollar? As the reliance on US dollars diminishes, central banks are beginning to dump their dollar reserves. The shift away from paper money and the US dollar in particular is a clear indication of the changing tides in global finance. So, the next time you find yourself questioning why central banks are stockpiling gold, remember this: it's not a hobby, it's a strategy. A strategy born out of a lack of trust in the current monetary system and a belief in the enduring value of precious metals. And that brings us to the end of this segment. As the reliance on US dollars diminishes, central banks are beginning to dump their dollar reserves. The importance of gold and silver in today's economy cannot be overstated. As we navigate the turbulent seas of financial markets, these precious metals serve as a beacon of stability. They are the lighthouses guiding us through the stormy economic waters. Gold and silver have been a part of human civilization for thousands of years. Their value isn't determined by the whims of central banks or governments, but by their inherent scarcity and the labor required to extract them from the earth. They are the real, tangible wealth that can't be printed or inflated away. In an economy where the value of paper money is constantly eroding due to inflation, gold and silver stand as a hedge. They are the bulwark, the shield that protects your wealth from the corrosive effects of inflation. As the cost of living rises and the purchasing power of the dollar falls, the value of gold and silver tends to rise. This is why they are often referred to as inflation hedges. But their role extends beyond just being a hedge against inflation. In times of economic uncertainty or instability, investors often flock to gold and silver as safe havens. They are the lifeboats that can help you stay afloat when the economic ship is sinking. Moreover, gold and silver are universally accepted forms of payment. No matter where you are in the world, these precious metals are recognized and valued. They are the global currency that transcends national borders. But perhaps the most important role of gold and silver is as a store of value. They are the time capsules that allow you to preserve your wealth for future generations. When you invest in gold and silver, you're not just saving money, you're saving the economic energy that you expended to earn that money. You're preserving your economic power for the future. Gold and silver are not just precious metals, they're precious assets. They play a vital role in our economy and in preserving wealth. So, as we move forward into an uncertain economic future, remember the importance of these timeless treasures. The future of the US dollar looks bleak, but the future of gold and silver shines bright. As we've seen, the US dollar has been on a downward trajectory, losing significant purchasing power. The long-term trend shows a consistent decline when measured against gold, indicating a shaky future for the once dominant currency. On the other hand, precious metals like gold and silver have been showing a steady rise, gaining trust and value in the global economy. This brings us to Matthew Piepenburg, a partner of Matterhorn Asset Management and a well-respected voice in the financial world. Piepenburg has been vocal about his bullishness on gold and silver. He firmly believes that these precious metals will not only maintain their value, but will also increase significantly in the coming years. Looking ahead to the year 2024, Piepenburg's price prediction for gold and silver is optimistic. He sees a future where these precious metals will continue to serve as a safe haven for investors, providing a hedge against inflation and economic instability. His bullish sentiment on gold and silver is shared by many other financial experts who share the same sentiment. But why is Piepenburg so bullish on gold and silver? He points to the fact that even central banks worldwide are accumulating gold. They're doing this not because it's a mere pet rock, but because they have lost trust in paper money and the monetary and fiscal policies of leading developed economies. As the reliance on US dollars diminishes, central banks are starting to dump their dollar reserves. The trust in precious metals is not just a passing trend, it's a reality that's shaping the future of global finance. The decline of the US dollar and the rise of gold and silver are not just trends, they're realities. As we move forward, we can expect to see a shift in the global economic landscape. The US dollar may continue to weaken, but precious metals like gold and silver are primed for a bright future. The decline of the dollar and the rise of gold and silver are not just trends, they're realities. Investing in gold and silver is not just a smart move, it's a necessary one. Let's delve into why. As we've already established, the purchasing power of the US dollar has been on a steady decline. This downward trend has far-reaching implications for your savings, your purchasing power, and your financial security. So where does this leave us? There's an old adage that says, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket." This is especially true when it comes to your financial portfolio. Diversification is a key strategy in mitigating risk and protecting your wealth. And this is where gold and silver come into play. Gold and silver have been used as a store of value for thousands of years. Unlike paper money, they cannot be created out of thin air. Their intrinsic value isn't subject to the whims of government policies or market speculation. As such, they offer a hedge against inflation, helping to maintain the purchasing power of your wealth over the long term. But their role goes beyond that. Gold and silver are also tangible assets. They are real, they are scarce, and they are universally recognized. This makes them a safe haven in times of economic uncertainty or geopolitical upheaval. They offer a level of security and peace of mind that simply cannot be matched by paper currency or digital assets. Moreover, investing in gold and silver can also offer potential growth opportunities. As the demand for these precious metals increases, driven by factors such as the decline of the US dollar and increasing central bank purchases, their value is likely to rise. This offers the potential for significant capital appreciation over the long term. In a world of volatile markets, shifting geopolitical landscapes, and dwindling trust in paper money, investing in gold and silver is more than just a prudent financial strategy. It's a way to protect and preserve your wealth for the future. Gold and silver are not just investments, they're lifelines. The story of the US dollar and precious metals is a tale of decline and rise. We've navigated the tumultuous journey of the US dollar, witnessing its significant loss in domestic purchasing power since 1933, and its reduced global share in central bank foreign exchange reserves. We've observed the consistent decline in its intrinsic purchasing power over the years, even amidst occasional spikes. Simultaneously, we've explored the ascent of precious metals, especially gold and silver. As the trust in paper money wanes, central banks are steadily accumulating gold, leading to record purchases this year, as per the World Gold Council. These precious metals have proved themselves as reliable economic pillars, their value only growing with time. Investing in gold and silver is no longer just an option, it's a necessity. As the reliance on US dollars diminishes, these precious metals stand as robust alternatives, beckoning a future where the monetary landscape may well be dominated by them. As Matthew Piepenburg emphasizes, the bullishness about gold, silver, and precious metals is not just a speculation, it's a reality. It's a prediction for the coming years. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.